here's something I think I'll just share. The court, and this is exactly from the 1995 case that I referred to, that while children undeniably benefit from the Charter, most notably in its protection of their rights to life and to the security of their person, they are unable to assert these rights, and our society accordingly presumes that parents will exercise their freedom of choice in a manner that does not offend the rights of their children. If one considers the multitude of decisions parents make daily, it is clear that in practice, state interference, as I shared earlier, in order to balance the rights of parents and children, will arise only in exceptional cases. The state can properly intervene in situations where parental conduct falls below the socially acceptable threshold. But in doing so, it is limiting the constitutional rights of parents rather than vindicating the constitutional rights of our children. I'll just leave it at that, Madam Chair, because even like some of the delegations made reference to the fact that in speaking against the main motion, they basically contradicted the rights of what parents, the rights that parents have, and what our Supreme Court has said the rights that the parents have. And at the end of the day, there's no information. I don't have any information that this ruling has been overturned. This is our Supreme Court. And so the Human Rights Code, in terms of their rulings, it doesn't overrule what the Supreme Court says. So I'll ask my colleagues to support the motion.
Trustee Radlin?
Thank you, through you, Chair. I think these issues have been raised, addressed. I call the
Point of order.
vote.
Point of order. This is twice, both motions. There has been no debate on these motions.
What's your point of order?
My point of order is that we're not even debating these motions. They're just being slam dunked.
That's not a point of order.
Yes,
That's not
it
a
is.
point of order.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna
Because we
stop.
should be
Stop.
able
I'm
to
going to
debate
talk.
these
I'm
motions.
going to
And
ask.
I
I'm
being
going to
stopped-
confer
I am being
with
stopped
the Parliament.
from actually
Trustee
speaking
Watson,
the motion
please
a second
stop.
time.
Please stop.
I think Trustee Watson's concerned is a motion coming to call the question. Sorry.
You're objecting to something that hasn't happened, and there's no point of order to call at this point. So I'm going to overrule that point of order, or whatever the wording is. Continue, Trustee Radlin.
Thank you. There was extensive human rights training with recent court decisions that indicated that no right is being violated. We have had presentations from the Canadian School Library Association at length answering the concerns. We need to accept the information we have given and move on. So I would like to call a vote. There are too many students, staff, and families being harmed by this discussion, which achieves nothing, because as many people have said, it is not based in any legitimate conflict of rights. The board is following the Human Rights Code. It's
Point of
following the
order.
Ministry of Education.
Point-
I call the vote.
Point of order.
What is your point of order?
This is because we are removing debate on two motions. This is completely wrong. We're not even allowed to debate this motion, and the question is being called. We're not allowed.
We
to
are
talk
following
about
Robert's rules and our bylaws, and it allows for a vote to be called.
this. Will give
And then we
parents
will,
a perception that
Trustee
we don't
Watson,
want
we are
to debate
following
this
the
motion.
rules that are laid out in our bylaws and Robert's rules. And that is a
Not
valid,
peers.
that is a valid motion.
So parents don't get their concerns.
Is there a? Following. Okay, thank you. According to our bylaws, 2424, that is a valid motion. So is there a seconder for that motion?
I want to record a vote.
Trustee Johnson, you're seconding the motion to call the vote? Thank you. Can I have 1 second? Okay, would you like a recorded vote on calling the question?
Point of information. So Trustee Watson did say her opening remarks, correct?
Okay, so trustee Watson, trustee Ramsey has spoken, and trustee Radlin, and then trustee Radlin called the vote.
Okay,
But according to our
So,
bylaws, I
trust-
get another chance at the end of after
If-
debate, which debate wasn't allowed to happen.
Trustee Watson, enough.
Debate
And
wasn't allowed to
Trustee
happen.
Watson, we are
I-
following our bylaws, and the bylaws allow for the vote to be
But
called
this is not
according to
democratic.
24 by point
This is
2.4.
not democracy.
Trustee Watson, enough.
This is not
Enough.
democracy.
Are you ready?
this is a recorded vote on calling the question. So we will start with trustee Cody,
No.
It's-
trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Meisner,
In favor.
trustee Piatkowski.
Yes.
Trustee Radlin.
Yes.
Trustee Ramsey,
Opposed?
trustee Wasim,
In favor?
Chair Weston.
Favor?
Sorry, trustee Watson, I jumped ahead on my thing. Trustee Watson,
Opposed?
Chair Weston was in favor. Trustee Woodcock
In favor.
and student trustee Yawan.
In favor.
Thank you. That is 7 in favor and 3 opposed, making it meet the 2/3 requirement.
Okay, thank you. And we will move to the vote, and it will be recorded on the motion on folio 21, virtual library policy. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, recorded vote on the notice of motion. Trustee Cody,
Yes.
trustee Johnson,
Opposed.
trustee Meisner,
Opposed.
trustee Piatkowski,
Opposed.
trustee Radlin,
Opposed.
trustee Ramsey,
In favor?
trustee Wasim, opposed, trustee Watson,
In favor?
trustee Weston, Chair Weston, sorry,
Sorry, opposed.
and trustee Woodcock
Opposed.
and student trustee Yawan.
Opposed.
Thank you. That is 3 in favor and 7 opposed. That motion's defeated.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to question period. Trustee Watson?
Thank you. So we received actually a letter from the Muslim Association of Canada and Empower Educating Minds, Parents, and Waterloo Region. And they asked for an apology from our board because of the comments that we made. I mean, I didn't make them, but somebody made them. And so they wanted an apology from our board. So I'm just wondering, in the name of democracy, are we going to apologize to them? Or are we going to respond? Or are we just going to, I know it was on Twitter and I'm sure we read them. Are we going to respond to these two organizations about some of the comments they didn't like that we made?
Director Chanaka?
Through you, Chair, if the trustee could clarify if they've received a letter specific to us in Waterloo Region District School Board, because I have not received any letter like
Well,
that.
it was
Trustee Watson?
it was on Twitter, I believe, and there was a letter from Empower because I received it in my email. And it basically, there were comments made about the 1 million march for parents. And so I could pull up the email and read the whole email if you'd like. So I just wonder, are we going to respond to these parent groups who did not like some of the comments made?
Director Chanaka?
Through you, Chair, as a school district, we continue to make sure that we are protecting the rights of all the students that we serve. All of our statements that we've made have considered the human rights of all students that we serve. In fact, most of our statements have been quite nuanced and considerate of multiple perspectives that may exist and multiple lived experiences.
Parents, yeah.
Okay,
just to
are there any
follow up.
other, you
So
had to follow up.
Parents,
You
just
had to
because
follow
they're
up. Is
standing
there
up for
another
their rights
question tonight?
does not mean that they are
Trustee Watson,
anti-sexual
enough,
life.
stop.
But please listen then. Listen
I
to
am,
what we're
I
saying.
hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But please follow the rules tonight. Trustee Ramsey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In continuing the line of questioning from my colleague, and I will through you to the director. The director mentioned that the statements from the board are quite nuanced. From what I recall, the statement I think my colleague was referring to, the statement that was issued essentially called the Million March a hate march, is basically what he called it. And I believe.
Sorry, Trustee Ramsey. Sorry, the gallery, I can't hear Trustee Ramsey. Thank you. Go ahead.
So it was called a hate march, and I believe that's what my colleague is referring to, that the Muslim Association took exception, not just Muslim Association, I heard from other constituents also, that took exception to that description that was not borne out. And I attended the rally at City Hall as an observer, and I didn't see any hate taking place there, but yet that statement was made, and I know it was made prior to the march taking place. That statement was never withdrawn, and there was never any apologies. I don't call that nuance. So I just wonder if the director could respond to that at all, please.
Director Chenaka?
Through the chair, I don't have the statement right in front of me right now, our statement. I'm happy to respond to this question.
Point of order, we can't hear the director's mic. We can't hear.
Okay, I will ask him to speak into the mic. Thank you.
Through the chair, I don't have the statement right in front of me right now, which I was just trying to open up, but I am happy to respond to this at a later time.
Okay.
If we had the question earlier, we could have been prepared to answer it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, are there any future agenda items? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Trustee Woodcock, seconded by trustee Meisner. All in favor? And opposed? Abstained? Adjourned.